when we die, if we follow the laws and we have a good death, a medicine death.
My name's Wyndham Price. I'm director of Crow. I'm also producer and I co-wrote the screenplay. The film came from a stage play. It's called Stone the Crows. It was written by Tim Rees. It was very successful. I loved it. It was just a two-hander, two people telling parallel stories about their shared experience. One was a businessman. One was a feral youth living in the wood who was trying to stop him from building his dream mansion.
This is where we're going to live. I've sold our house, and I've bought this, as far as the eye can see.
I'm Nick Moran, and I play Richard Tucker, who is a very wealthy merchant banker who's decided to relocate to the country and buys a large country estate without the house, because that's gone to the National Trust, with the view to building his own mansion on the grounds. And he does it in the same sort of city cutthroat manner that he's conducted all his other business, and it becomes an immediate conflict of interest with the resident squatters. They're not squatters, the residents on the estate, and his plans to build it into a fiefdom, to build his own little kingdom with these hundreds of acres that he's bought off of a bankrupt aristocrat.
You are the protector.
Well, I must confess, I don't normally concern myself with the chaos of the world. I've only really got enough energy to deal with the chaos in my own mind, But the thing was about the script was it was this kind of, when I read the script, I kept thinking about the Knightsbridge Barracks, which is I think the most ugly building in London. And I remember as a boy, my mother telling me that there was a law that you couldn't build buildings that could be seen over the height of the parks. And I always thought that was rather wonderful. And I guess the Knightsbridge Barracks was the first one that did that. So obviously there was, I guess people changed their minds,
I'd always believed in magic, Harley, but I'd never felt it. I never heard the drums of the ancestors echo through me.
I'm Tom Rhys-Harries and I play Crow. Crow is a gypsy, a wanderer, a traveller, and the group of people that he travels with have picked up this Crow tribe, Red Indian mentality somewhere along the way. And what he's done, and I think that sort of gives them an umbrella to exist under, what he's done is taken it and run very far with this idea. He gets a bit consumed by it. And I think he thinks the answer is within that belief. He's a radical, I think.
On more of a basic level, I started picking up images such as the sort of semi-naked torso, the half-shaved head, which I really liked because I thought it looked quite visceral and raw, and I wanted a change between flashback Crow and present-day Crow, and had initially thought about using ink tattoos. I decided not to use ink tattoos, but to sort of draw on this concept of scarification tattoos, where somebody cuts into their own skin, leaving permanent raised scars. So this sort of image was the inspiration for the freshly cut V, beak-like V, that I cut into Tom's chest.
But I really enjoyed it. I like the crew, small, everybody cares, which is important. I'm particularly fond of the director, Wyndham. He's a really, really interesting man. Underestimate him at your peril, kind of thing. I really enjoy spending time with Andrew Howard. He's a great actor, but also a lot of fun.
Here it is. Exactly as I remember it.
My name is Andrew Howard, and I play the character of Harley. Harley is a senior member of the tribe. He may consider himself one of the leaders of the tribe, the Crow tribe. They've been living on the commune in the woods for many, many years now, since the big incident, and he's a protector of Crow. He's a father figure, paternal figure of Crow, and he's inclined to explode. And certainly when the camp and the tribe is beginning to come unhinged and fall apart, he is the one who takes it personally, emotionally, and wants to do something about it, but it's hard for him to control his anger.
My name's Ellen Reese and I play Alicia Tucker, who's Richard Tucker's wife. You first see the two of them arrive at the woods, this sort of very new money, self-made sort of fortune, and they arrive and Alicia doesn't know anything obviously about the fact that he's bought this whole wood, and then obviously he kind of discloses to her that they're planning to build this massive dream house on the plot of land, and from there on everything kind of starts to unravel. Since reading the script, I've always thought that Alicia is a very, very interesting character, and it's kind of very lucky because she has such a wonderful sort of story arc. You know, you see her, first of all, they turn up and she's this very kind of urban, materialistic, affluent kind of person. And as soon as she arrives at the wood, she's very much kind of out of her depth. But the wood has this amazing kind of effect on her. It was an instant effect. She's really kind of mesmerized by it, and which leads to this amazing sort of spiritual awakening within her. So it was really interesting to get to play a kind of the arc of that, which is it's rare. It's nice. I mean, I grew up in the countryside. I've always been around nature and animals and whatnot, and I just think it's really important. Spend a lot of time outdoors and go for nice long walks, and I just don't think that anything really matches the beauty of nature, really.
I'm from the country myself. I'm from the top of the Swansea Valley, inside the Brecon Beacons National Park, and my childhood memories are just going out and communing with nature on a daily basis. You know, we used to go tickling trout when we were kids, and we were nature boys, really. But all my adult life has been in an urban environment, so it's been magnificent to revisit the clash between the urban and the rural, really, which is thematic within the film. And actually has induced a particular film language as well that I've discussed with Robin Wenry, the director of photography. We wanted to keep the camera moving all the time to give that sense of agitation, growth, continual change, really, which is the reality of the universe, I guess.
I'm Robin Wenry and I'm the director of photography. I first got involved with Crow when Wyndham Price, the director, approached me with the script, and I was immediately struck by the tremendous narrative and visual possibilities and the timeliness of the subject matter, dealing with man's relationship with his environment and nature. And I also liked the fact that the script was not too black and white. There's not a clear-cut good guy and villain. There's kind of a bit of both in both of the main characters. I grew up in the South Devon countryside in southwest England, and my first experiences of filmmaking were shooting my own little short films and documentary footage around the fields where I grew up. So my first filming experiences were in nature, effectively. In a weird way, I kind of connect with nature through the lens, and always have. So it's nice to be able to apply that experience from my very first days of filming to a feature film of this scale, and see the progression.
Seems a hell of a shame, though.
What's a shame?
Well, the wood. It's beautiful.
I'm paying you to cut down trees, not to hug them.
My name's Jason Hughes, and I play Colin Millward. I guess he's like the conscience of the piece, really, isn't he? He's an architect, engineer. He's been employed by Tucker to build his house for him. And he starts to realise that the wood is an incredible and beautiful place, and that it's ancient, and that they really shouldn't be chopping down the thing and shouldn't be building a house there.
I'm not a nature boy. I don't mind a bit of it. but that was what's so wonderful about the script. With Tucker, I get to revel in the fact that I'm not a nature boy. You see this wonderful eco artist environment, and part of you thinks, oh wow, that's wonderful, but then the evil cynic part of me thinks, what a waste. So I'm not a nature boy. I don't have to be. I get to revel in the other side of it.
It's the opposite of what Socrates said, you know. He said, like, beauty first, victory is secondary. And I thought victory is never secondary to developers, you know. They don't give a toss about beauty, you know. So that was the kind of thing I thought, yeah, it's a science fiction movie, and it's an unusual movie, but it's about a real problem. I mean, London is just... Every time I go away and I come back to London, there's more ugliness, you know. The beauty of the London where I grew up is just being demolished, and I don't know why.
Have you thought about building a carbon-neutral dwelling, Mr. Tucker? Solar panels, filtered rainwater, even recycled wastewater can greatly reduce your footprint.
You'll have my footprint on your arse if we're not at stage 3 in 2 months.
My name is Emily Bevan, and I'm playing Jill. And Jill is the junior architect who's working with Millward on the construction of Tucker's new home. And she is quite into eco-architecture, and a lot of her ideas for his property are kind of, you know, ones that are environmentally friendly, so she's quite in touch with nature. I was really excited by the script for Crow. I thought it was really unique and very intriguing, and I love the idea of this Crow tribe and how they've got their mythologies and their own kind of language, and I could tell just reading it that visually it was going to be a really exciting project. And I think it's interesting looking at the tension between, you know, building and moving into the future, and then preserving nature and the environment.
There's Crow and reverse Crow. When light and dark merge, and inside and outside they come together.
My character Ray is the father of Crow, they're like travellers who've been pushed off the land, and the backstory that they're living sort of under motorways and things like that, but always has a spiritual yearning to go back to the land and protect it. If you're trying to protect something that, you know, sometimes you do have to fight, and, you know, we're told by governments to fight sometimes for the defense of your country. So for Crow and Ray, I think the land, you know, where the forest is their country, and they probably would fight to the death for it. So I think there would be an understanding by Ray of Crow's actions. Well, I was attracted to the role like anything I do really after reading the script, and it's not your typical sort of horror film. It has some other sort of message in it. And also my son, played by Tom, who I'd worked with before. So, and then I found Ellen was in it as well, and Nick. So it was that excited me. And coming back to Wales, I get closer to nature by going surfing. So I sort of immerse myself in the ocean, get cleansed, catch a few waves, yeah, I've been doing that for about 20 odd years now. So that's how I get my escape from this crazy job that I do, and just play with Neptune on the sea.
It's a genre piece, but it's very clever. It's typical of Wyndham, really, and his kind of how creative he is, because it's got there's a spin on it, there's a twist on it, you know. There's a sort of very spiritual kind of aspect to the film, and there's a sort of eco message, and it's just not a flat-out horror thriller piece. There's a little bit more to it than that, and I thought that was very clever.
And I think it's interesting also because everyone in it feels a real, Tucker, Crow, everyone is kind of enchanted by this place, and they all do things that are maybe quite extreme because this place has a kind of power over them. And it was quite interesting to see how everyone sort of wants it to be theirs. Everyone wants to put their stamp on it. Everyone wants to own it. Even Jill, in her own small way, she wants it to be, an eco home, and she's got it gets her excited about the possibilities. But actually, at the end, nature is in control, and nobody gets what they want.
There were some difficulties in pre-production because Andrew Howard was based in LA, Jason Hughes was actually in LA, Ellen Reese was in Mallorca and so on, and they all congregated back here to make this film. So yeah, it's been a fraught period in the run-up, but we're here and we've gathered some absolutely stunning footage, so I'm really, really pleased.
I've really enjoyed my time on the set. Everybody's really lovely and it's relaxed, and we're working in beautiful locations, and it's, like you say, spending lots of time outside in a natural environment, not really touching or messing with it, just kind of enjoying the space for what it is. And yeah, it's been great. Cold at times, but it's really good.
It's been brilliant. The crew have been diamond. We've had some pretty rough weather conditions, rain, and it's a beautiful day today, but at times it's been pretty messy. 3 o'clock in the morning in a middle of a field in Cowbridge, with my face in cowpat. It's not the most salubrious thing I've ever done, but it's been great. Wyndham's a brilliant director, and I have very high hopes for Crow. I think it's going to be beautiful.
Golden wrap on Andrew, everybody!
Here we are, in the green screen studio, just wrapped on Terence, so we've actually finished all of principal photography now for Crow. It's been quite a journey, and we're nearing the end now, and it's been absolutely marvellous working with all the crew here, and with Terence, an icon of British cinema, world cinema even, with that incredible list of films and directors. Very humbling, really. I think he was absolutely extraordinary, and he really enjoyed it, and it was a pleasure to hear the words that he'd enjoyed reading the script and watching what we'd done, the rushes and so on. And so
I think we did some beautiful stuff.
Now we're heavily into post and the completion of the film, and we'll deliver in a few months, and it's I'm looking forward to it immensely, and it's been an extraordinary journey. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been hard, like all films are hard, but hey, that's why we do it. We love it, really.